Okay, parking brake is set and fuel is sufficient for flight. We have 2 hours of fuel and we should be flying for about half an hour, a little more than half an hour. Okay, I'll just check the weather in our neighborhood at Brussels South. Okay, this is looking good. I'm going to take off on runway 24 here at Echo Bravo November Mike. Battery master switch on. Audio panel is set. Avionics on. I'm going to set my COM1 to 122.8. Nav1 116.0 and on a track of 359er. Okay, and I'm going to set my nav2 on the Alpha November Tango VOR, which is 113.5 on the 336 bearing. Could this be correct? This does not seem to be correct. Let me just check that on the map. This is where we should be going. So this is not our correct. Let me see. If I do this, what does the navlog say? Heading 068. Okay. Heading 068. But we need the radial, and that the radial is 068. Okay. Because we're going from our VOR towards our airport. Okay. Let me check this. So we have 122.8, 116.0, and 113.50, heading 068 and heading 359er. Okay, autopilot is off. Transponder, I'm going to set transponder 7000, standard VFR on in Belgian territory. The 8 is we have it for Brussels South. I'm going to see what the weather will be like at our destination. Doesn't have any 8s, so I'm going to take Antwerp. Antwerp 230, 13 knots. This is good, this is good, this is good. Temporary showers and IMC conditions. Okay, so we'll have to take care. Just continue monitoring the weather. Annunciator panel is working. Transponder is set on 7000. Radios and intercom off. Battery master switch can stay on. Engine start checklist. Battery master switch is on. Beacon light on. Throttle closed. Carb heat cold. Mixture rich. Fuel pump on. Fuel pressure is in the green. Fuel pump off. Magnetos both. Throttle, open it up just a little, and I'm going to prime. All clear. All clear. Okay, this looks good. I'm going to set 1000 RPM, and we have oil pressure almost in the green, so that's good. After engine start checklist, intercom on, RPM 1000, oil pressure is looking good, alternator on, battery is charging, startup time log. I'm going to do this in touchdown. We are at Echo Bravo November Mike with a Piper 28. I'm leaving the flight number and the airline blank because, well, we're not an airliner. We don't have a flight number, we just use our call sign. Radio's on. Transponder is standby. Suction is in the green. Annunciator panel is normal. Autopilot is off. Flaps are up. Flight controls, they seem to be okay. NDG and compass cross-check. We have 241 and 241, so that's good. I'm going to taxi to runway, let me see here, runway 24, since wind is 210 degrees, 15 knots, quite a lot of wind today. I'm going to announce that. Okay, all clear. All clear. No, wait, I'm forgetting something. I'm going to put this on the correct altitude. Nav lights on and landing light on. Parking brake off. Nobody is around. Okay, check brakes. We have brakes. Check the flight instruments. This looks all good. Compass is turning, the DG is turning. Turn coordinator is working. Attitude indicator is working. And then the other way. This is working. This is all working. Okay. So this is our runway. I'm going to hold short here. Parking brake on. Before takeoff checklists, flaps takeoff position, elevator trim takeoff position, autopilot is disengaged, carb heat is cold, mixture is rich, magnetos both, primer is locked, fuel pump goes on, engine instruments all looking good, flight instruments have been checked in the turns, and transponder 7000, pointer to decimal 8, 116.0, that's correct, and 113.5. Okay. Final is free. Didn't hear no one. I don't see anyone. I'm going to line up with the runway. Very short runway. But we should make it. I'll try to take off in ground effect. Okay, so heading 240, more or less 240 on the compass. Altitude is okay, all lights on. I'll put on my strobe light, I don't use the pitot. Transponder goes on and all annunciators are off, so we're good for takeoff. Okay, power is available. Engine instruments, all in the green, and airspeed is live. Off the ground, okay. Okay, and now accelerating ground effect. Ooh, there's quite a lot of wind, and now pull the nose up to get over those trees. I'll steer a little to the left to take any drift into account. Okay. Feet above ground level, fuel pump off, landing light off, flaps up. And I'm going to turn north, sorry. North. I made a bad briefing to myself. Should have known that the turn was to the right. I really hope that the VOR needle will come alive anytime soon. We're almost at 2000 feet, so should have checked the flight simulator. No, it is the flight simulator frequency, so it should be working. I'm going to overshoot the north just a little in order to get back to the aerodrome. because that's where we calculated our heading from. Okay, 2,100 feet, still looking good. I'm going to start my timer. Should be flying for 8 minutes to our VOR. Almost reaching our target altitude. Going to put the nose down a little. And I'm going to turn north, but the bad part is my VOR still isn't alive. So what is going on here? I'll just have to check on the map whether I did not made a mistake in the frequency. Don't overshoot the altitude. I'm going to put the autopilot on. Heading hold, altitude hold, and I'm going to lean. Good. We still don't have VOR indication. This is a nav mode. Okay, so what is wrong? I'm at 2,500 feet. I'm quite close. So we should be okay actually. 30 nautical miles. I'm going to try to ident it. There's nothing, obviously. Just check the map very quickly. Oh, it's just a DME. I thought it was VOR. Okay, so we'll get to this one, to 117.55. 7.55. Let me check it if we're finding this one. Yes, we are. Okay, I'm going to have to recalculate everything. So I'm planning to wait just a second. I'm going to see. I'm on the 355 radius, so I'm going to turn towards 335, that's what I meant to say. Someone knows Morse. This should be the code of our VOR. Okay. So, okay, 335 with a little wind correction. Wind's coming from 330, that's almost a full crosswind. I'm going to see if there is anybody around. No, there is nobody around, so I could just go to my flight planner. Not show the navlog. No, I'm going to edit my flight plan. I'm going to delete this waypoint, and I'm going to put this here. The Heldenberg VOR, and then on my navlog I'm going to see 342, okay, and 006 during 8 minutes and 15 minutes. Okay, this is what we need. So I'm continuing 8 minutes towards our new VOR. This is actually flight preparation that you should be doing, but now I just wanted to make a very quick flight and I didn't check almost nothing. Don't do that in real life. I think this is the Boversha. airport with our DME that we now do not use anymore, and we'll be passing Brussels airport also, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we should be able to see Brussels airport after passing this Hotel Uniform Lima VOR. Am not on the good track. I'm just going to make a little weather check. Where's my flight computer? It is here. So our wind is 231 degrees at 20 knots. Okay, 231 degrees, 20 knots. And we want to fly a track of 335. This is almost complete. Crosswind. Getting airspeed of 110. We have a correction angle of 11 degrees. We should be flying 113 knots ground speed. So I actually need 325 in order to stay on track, and now I'm banking, or I'm not banking, I'm turning more to the left, more to the west, in order to achieve my planned track. We are almost 8 minutes underway, so this means that we should be arriving at our VOR. Let me just check for our next heading, heading 060. Our wind correction angle would be 8 degrees, so I would be flying 002 degrees. And we see Brussels. GPS we see that we are almost at our VOR. We'll see the needle come closer. Okay, that's good. And as soon as the flag has gone from a to flag to a from flag, I will change my heading. If we continued this way, then we would be arriving right overhead Brussels airport. It will make a slight right turn. As soon as we have passed the VOR. Is getting very sensitive, which means that we are getting very close, and we have lost the flag, so I'm going to turn turn, I'm going to reset my timer. Tune, I'm going to change this to 06. Still have to turn a little further. Torque, I'm not going to torque, there is no ATC. Turn time tune, torque. Fuel is okay, altitude is okay, engine instruments still looking good. I might just add a little thrust. To achieve 2400. This one is getting closer. That's good. I'll have to turn left in order not to overshoot it. I calculated a heading of 2 degrees. That might not be enough. Wind is constantly changing. That's why you always have to monitor your track. Brussels Airport. I might want to tell the traffic at Brussels that I'm passing by. Let me just check, there is nobody around. And do we have outbound flights? Maybe, so there might be people on the ground, but they should take off on one of the runways 25. So we should be just fine. The compass is showing 2 degrees, this one is showing 360, so I have to align it. Brussels. Can we see any traffic? I don't see any traffic. At least not from here. Still on a good track. It's good. Check on YY. No, there seems to be nobody around except maybe someone on the ground, but they will be taking off westbound, so we should be good. see that my calculations with the flight computer for the crosswind and drift are quite good. I calculated 2 degrees heading for 6 degrees track. I'm more or less on the right track. So let me check our destination. Echo Bravo Zulu Romeo has an elevation of 53 feet. Runway 2523. So I guess we'll be landing on a 23. We might check on the mirror for Antwerp. Still the same. Yes, it is still the same as we had at the beginning of our flight. So this should be good. There might be IMC conditions. So we have a 1000 feet above ground left-hand traffic circuit. So what I'm going to do, since we're coming from the south, I'm going to come overhead, descend on the dead side of runway 23, then join downwind and land. And 1000 feet above ground level means 1050 feet above mean sea level with the QNH set. Seven minutes underway, 8 minutes to go according to the navlog, and 7 minutes according to the GPS. It's good. Our destination is on the 068 radial of Alpha November Tango VOR. So this means that when the needle is centered, we are somewhere on the 68 radial of our VOR, and if all is good, we should also be overhead the destination aerodrome. And we will be overhead our destination aerodrome if I can follow the track that I have dialed here. 006 degree track from our Hotel Uniform Lima VOR. So Brussels, back there. The weather hasn't been that good lately to fly VFR. A lot of wind, as we can see now, 245 degrees, 21 knots. That's huge for VFR flights with small general aviation aircraft. Minutes underway, 5 to 6 minutes from our destination. We see that the needle still isn't centered, so that could be correct. We should have Antwerp right there. That's another airport. Yes, I can see it right there. And that's where the Alpha November Tango VOR is. So from there we'll have the 068 radial leading us to our destination, which I cannot see yet. Maybe it's probably this. It could be. probably. A long asphalt runway. That is our destination. Engine instruments still looking good. Just playing with the idents of the VORs. This should be the ident of the Alpha November Tango VOR. If it is going to play, there it is. Alpha November Tango. So I'm slightly off track, but I see that my runway is over there. I will land on the runway 23, so this means that actually I should be flying towards the threshold. So I'll turn a couple of degrees to the right. And then I'll make a left turn on the dead side of runway 23, join left hand downwind and land on the 23. Visibility around here. That's not what the METAR information for Antwerp said, but I'm not going to complain. I'd rather have good visibility. Quite a long runway. Let me see. Okay, the altitude has lost a bit of its the airplane has lost a bit of its altitude. That's due to the pressure changing in Flight Simulator. It changes all of a sudden and then it says that you are on the wrong altitude. That's bad. But there's nothing you can do about it, I guess. Because pressure changes. It changes in real life too. But maybe not that subtly. So we are gradually coming to our destination. Echo Bravo Zulu Romeo. Oh, we have ATC that's online. I wonder whether they would be acting as a FISO too. Maybe I'll just check with them. 131.1.
Link engaged.
Proceed direct flash clear Austrian 2587.
Okay, now I have this problem that Flight Simulator is very loud and TeamSpeak is not loud at all. So I'm going to do this. But I don't see the FISO information here, so I guess it will only be Brussels control.
Brussels control, this is Arcade 7.
Mr. Rich, QNH is set.
09 with user.
Member joined.
Autopilot off.
Tower 709 squawk item, please.
Brussels Control, Oscar Tango Delta Whiskey, good afternoon.
Oscar Tango Delta Whiskey, Brussels Control, hello.
Oscar Tango Delta Whiskey, Piper 28, VFR flight from Namur to Zoersel. Currently overhead our destination airport Zoersel, altitude 2,500 feet, requesting flight information services, sir, if you also act as a FISO.
Oscar Tango Delta Whiskey, no problem, we will provide flight information service to you. Stand by for instructions.
Stand by. I hope you guys can also hear the air traffic control. So there seems to be nobody on the airfield here.
Oscar Tango Delta Whiskey, no traffic in your vicinity, QNH 1011, you can join left and down Lake runway 23, report right down, left and down.
QNH 1011 and we'll join left hand downwind for runway 23 and report when we are on the downwind. Oscar Tango Delta Whiskey. So we can just do as we please.
Member joined.
The air traffic controller has actually cleared us for what we were intending to do, so that's good. I'm going to start my descent. QNH is set and mixture is rich. So 23 minus 9er is 14. Might fly on heading 150 in order to compensate any wind. Okay.
Brussels Control, good day, Twidget 70 Delta, Pratt 70.
Twidget 70 Delta, hello, radar identified, continue asphalt.
Start turning 140 minus 9 is 1050 degrees.
Member joined.
Wind will be coming more or less from our back, so I won't compensate too much for the wind and just see what happens. Circuit altitude 1050 feet.
Brussels CTR, KLM 500 with you, inbound Nick, climbing to flight level 330.
KLM 500, hello, radar identified, flight level 170, flight level 330,
set, brakes, engine instruments looking good, 9 pump on, mixture is rich.
Continue my climb to 330, KLM 560. Goedemiddag.
Brussels Control, Oscar Tango Delta Whiskey is downwind 23 at Zoersel.
Oscar Tango Delta Whiskey, report final runway 23.
Member left.
23, sorry.
To report final runway 23, Oscar Tango Delta Whiskey. I'm used to say Delta Echo Lima Whiskey, so Oscar Tango Delta Whiskey is quite hard for me. I'm going to start to slow down a little. I'm almost at my circuit altitude. And as soon as I have slowed down enough, I will be adding flaps. Ooh, there's a thunderstorm back there. don't overshoot the altitude, and flaps 1. Descend just a little more, not too much. I'll add a little power. This is at 1050 above mean sea level, and I'm going to turn base. Heading 320 if I'm not mistaken. Yes, that would be correct. Maybe 310 to allow for the wind. That is coming from the left hand side. There's the runway. Descent just yet. I'm quite far from the runway. The aircraft is stabilized at circuit altitude 1050 feet above mean sea level with
KLM 500 continue direct to Felix.
Direct Felix for the KLM 560.
Okay, yeah, so I'm going to slow down at the carb heat at flaps 75 knots, that's what I need, and nose goes down. And add a little power because I don't have to descend very fast, I'm quite far.
Brussels control, Arcade 709, IFA to Marseille province, request departure information from Brussels South.
Arcade 709, please adjust your flight plan so you still filed for the VFR flight plan and not correct airports. Please check your flight plan.
Well, I changed my front plan.
Okay. Still looking good. I see I have a tree right on my flight path. That's not good. So I'm going to announce that I'm final. Brussels Control, Oscar, Oscar, Tango, Delta, Whiskey is final, 2-3 for a full stop landing at Zoersel.
Oscar, Oscar, Tango, Delta, Whiskey doing 230 degrees, 15 knots, runway 23, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 23, Oscar, Oscar, Tango, Delta, Whiskey. So the wind is more or less in the axis. That's good. This morning I had to make a landing in a huge crosswind. It's always tougher. I do think that I am crabbing a little, or even quite a lot. So I think that in reality this will be just another crosswind landing. I'll apply left rudder and right aileron, try to land not in the trees. Okay, try the center line, apply rudder. We have a long runway so I can work my way through the landing, apply just a little more rudder. Almost there. Okay. The aircraft is on the ground. taxiing is so hard in Flight Simulator, that's badly modeled. I'll vacate to the left.
That's a control. This is Cavan 709, flight plans change.
Yes,
Runway vacated in a moment.
370 Delta, contact
Brake.
land
Set
control.
RPM is 1000 car feet.
128
Stand by, fuel pump.
M28, Delta
Off,
3,
fuel
TWIDGET
pressure
70
set.
Delta, good day.
Landing lights may remain on, strobe lights off,
Remember
pitot
that.
off, flaps up.
And Arcade 709 is your flight plan is still not correct, sir. Your flight route is not correct. If you give me a moment, I will search one for you.
Thank you. It's my first flying. I prefer fly.
Okay, I'll just announce that I'm vacated.
Yes, no problem. Yeah, just stand by for a moment.
Oscar Oscar Tango Delta Whiskey runway vacated.
Oscar Tango Delta Whiskey, Roger, frequency change approved, have a nice day, bye-bye.
Frequency change approved. Oscar Tango Delta Whiskey. Thank you for your services. Bye bye. Just remain on frequency. So we have some more ATC. This guy obviously has his hands full with the Charleroi based person with a faulty flight plan. So this is it. Parking brake set. RPM 1000. Music off. Mixture, idle cutoff, magnetos off and keys removed, all switches off. And the shutdown time log. I'm going to do that in touchdown. We made one landing at Echo Bravo Romeo. And end the flight. In the meanwhile, I'm going to go to the tours. Belgian VFR tour, the new modus system. Is this correct? This seems to be correct. 42 minutes. Let me see, VFR tour. This one is still pending, so I'm just going to modify it. I actually accidentally went to Zulu Whiskey and not to Zulu Romeo this morning. That wasn't good. 11:16. So 11:15.
Arcade 709, change your flight plan. Please check your flight route is changed, and I changed your flight level as well in the flight plan. I don't know if flying the 737NG from PMDG to adjust your LMC.
Roger, thank you very much. I changed my PMD. Yes, I follow with PMDG. I'm going to change FNC. Thank you.
Yes, in the meanwhile,
Thanks
I
for
will
watching,
give you
guys.
the
Bye.